Chris Walker is joining me from the Hamilton County Health Department. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
We just got done listening to Governor Holcomb's news conference, and he's just ordered a statewide mask mandate starting on Monday. Your thoughts on that?
Well, I think it's good for everyone. The nice thing is that he does have an enforcement mechanism in place. It is a Class B misdemeanor in the state of Indiana, according to the Indiana code he mentioned, which is, I believe, $1,000 fine, up to $1,000 fine, and potentially some time in jail. Hopefully, as he said, it doesn't come to that. But, it's obvious that there's some confusion as to the need for the mask. And I think by the governor and the state taking a unified stance on mask wearing, it's going to help curtail our cases and hope get us over the hump and back to a more normal that we're used to.
Yeah, you mentioned education. I know the Hamilton County Health Department's trying to get a better idea of who is and who is not wearing a mask, and their reasoning for it. Tell us about this new survey that'll be going out here in the next day.
So we have a survey we're going to be putting out on our social media that includes Nextdoor, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, linking to our survey. What we're trying to do is find out who's wearing a mask and maybe more importantly, who's not wearing them and why they're not wearing them. And that helps us focus our educational efforts to helping those who, may need a little more insight as to the reason why we wear masks. And that, we're not just protecting ourselves, we're protecting others as well. And that's really what we're going for here is getting through this as fast as possible.
So the governor had mentioned that cases are going up, hospitalizations are going up. How do we look specifically here in Hamilton County?
So last week, if we look Wednesday to Wednesday, so the 8th to the 15th, we put on 187 new cases. From the 16th to today, we've put on 232 cases. So we are starting to see a steady rise, but contextually, when we look at our low numbers that we had in May and into June, we had everything shut down. People weren't traveling. So we're kind of looking at those numbers with us in a semi-normal state of life. I realize we're not fully open and we are wearing masks, but there's a lot more interaction amongst strangers at this point and people that are not normal close contacts than we've had before. So not unexpected given where we're at in our reopening of Indiana.
Do you think this mask mandate could be what we need to help minimize some of these numbers?
Well, one of my coworkers said it best is if we wear masks and we're wrong, the worst thing we did was put a cloth over our face. If we're not wearing a mask and wearing a mask could have helped, that mask could have helped save a life for somebody. So I would much rather err on the side of caution and wear that mask.
Great. Last week, the governor asked that any events with more than 250 people in attendance needed to get approval from their local health department. How is that going for you guys? Have you received any requests and how are you processing those?
Sure. We've received a number of requests for a variety of organizations, big and small, obviously 250 or more, but for a wide gamut of activities. And we have a team that includes our environmental staff who do the food inspections, vector control, water safety, as well as our health educators and our nursing staff. We've created this team that looks at all the different aspects of public health and evaluates these plans, and if need be, provides recommendations on how to improve on them to safeguard the community as much as possible. And so I would say that if people are planning on having an event of 250 or larger, they should send their plan to health@hamiltoncounty.in.gov. That's our main email address, and then we'll disseminate it to the team and someone will get back to you.
Great. Anything else we need to know moving into next week?
I think, everyone's chomping at the bit to see what goes on with schools. I think we all just need to be patient. We're about a month out for most of the school districts at this point. And it's going to be a game time decision based on the data between we see now and then. I know there's a lot of parents looking forward to their kids going back to class. I know there's a lot of kids looking forward to seeing their friends, but that we are working diligently with all of the schools within Hamilton County to try and do everything we can to safeguard those kiddos.
And in the meantime, mask up.
That's right. Mask up.
That'll get them back there faster, huh?
That's right.
Great. Chris Walker with the Hamilton County Health Department. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
We'll check in with you next week.